How to get reimbursement for medical devices. Obtaining reimbursement for medical devices is a task that many people deal with on a daily basis. In some cases, the devices are necessary to help provide a higher quality of life during the recuperation period after an accident or some type of surgical procedure. At other times, the devices are part of ongoing healthcare support that the patient will require for the rest of his or her life. In order to obtain some type of medical reimbursement, it is important to understand the qualifications that must be met in order to claim those costs. From there, patients or their advocates must determine if the devices in question are in compliance with the stated criteria and then follow whatever claims process the insurance company or support agency has in place for claiming a medical device's reimbursement. The first step in obtaining reimbursement for medical devices is to consult with the insurance provider or agency that extends some type of coverage relevant to the devices. Here the goal is to find out exactly what type of requirements must be met in order to be reimbursed. In some cases, this may involve purchasing the devices from an approved vendor or limiting the cost of the devices under a certain amount. By knowing what devices are covered under the terms and conditions of the agreement between the provider and the patient, it is much easier to follow those conditions on the front end and increase the chances of receiving some type of reimbursement for medical devices and any related patient care costs. After the purchase is qualified and executed, there is normally the need to file some type of claim with the provider. Here the goal is to make sure that all relevant documentation is forwarded along with the claim demonstrating that the purchase complies with relevant terms and conditions. By making sure the claim is accurate and complete, the chances of receiving a reimbursement for medical devices is enhanced greatly. It is important to note that filing for reimbursement for medical devices does not automatically mean that the total expense will be reimbursed. Depending on the circumstances, only a certain percentage of the total cost may be subject to reimbursement. When an insurance policy is involved, there may be the need to meet deductibles first before any types of reimbursement takes place. Factors of this nature should be taken into consideration when filing the initial claim so that there is a reasonable expectation of whether the claim will be applied toward a deductible requirement or if at least a partial reimbursement can be anticipated.